Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Coach Jason. Hope you're doing well. So the last video I talked about how to taper effectively for a 5K, like your goal 5K race, over a 4-week block of training. Today I want to go over how to effectively taper for a 10K with the same 4-week block. I break things into 3 to 4 week blocks for periodization purposes, and the reason why, if you haven't heard me say this before, it is backed up by the science, but periodization, the body needs about 21 to 28 days to adapt to a certain training cycle. Whether you're adding, volume or intensity or changing things around, it needs time to adapt. So rather than increase and increase and increase and increase and then drop and increase, drop, you increase and you level off for a couple of weeks, and then you either go up or you go down and so on. The body needs that time to adapt. And that same application, it's the same thing going down as it is going up. Okay, so when you're cutting volume back, it's important also to, when you drop back, let it sit there for a couple of weeks. Let the legs catch up. Okay, so because last thing you want is to be off rhythm, or for your athletes to be off rhythm on the most important race, so their goal race of the season, or their goal races of the season. So with that in mind, let's go over this. And by the way, this is your first time to the channel, welcome, and I hope you enjoy it. But if you want fully detailed training programs from the middle distance all the way up to the marathon, cross-country training, all different workouts galore and stuff like that, in a structured, comprehensive manner, this is the channel for you. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the notification next to it so that you not only see the several dozen videos I've put out already, I've got about 100 videos out already, but you won't miss the ones that I'm going to be putting out moving forward. And if I don't have a video that you would like to see, just put it in the comments down below. Say, hey, can you do a taper for an 800 or the 1500 or the mile or the half marathon or the marathon, whatever it is, I can put it together for you. I will. And I am speaking from 20 plus years of experience as a former competitor and a coach at the high school, college, and post-college level. I'm also USATF certified, and I'm also a Wharton certified musculoskeletal and flexibility therapist. Wharton is, if you've ever seen the stretch rope, the active isolated stretching, I studied under the guys who created the art, and I worked with them for about a decade. And worked on professional athletes of all levels at the Olympic trials in 2000, and other, a lot of other professional athletes and recreational folks and anybody at their clinic in New York. So that's the Wharton certification process. That's the active isolated method. It is hands down second to none. And I'll put a video in the description down below of the actual stretch routine that you could see, which is the most effective routine that I've ever seen for post-run, pre-run, for anybody altogether. So with that said, let's get to this, a 4-week taper, okay? And again, there's no magic taper, there's no magic workout. It's consistently, it's consistency over a period of time. Okay, and you'll notice some similarities here and some differences as well, and I'll explain them as well. So let's say you have a Tuesday, Friday workout cycle, okay, and we're going to keep along the lines of this. I'm going to give you 4 straight weeks of Tuesday workouts, okay, midweek workouts. So 4 weeks from your goal 10K. Tuesday, 2 miles. The workout is you run 2 miles at your goal 10K pace, 8 to 10 minutes of active recovery. Let's say that the goal is 6 minutes per mile. Okay, I use kind of a similar example for the 5K. Let's actually use 5 minutes per mile. Okay, so the goal is 2 miles at goal 10K pace, so you run it in 10 minutes. Okay, and I'll give you another example: 7 minutes per mile. It will be 2 miles in 14 minutes. Then you take an 8 to 10 minute active recovery, and then you do 3 times 1 mile with a 3-minute recovery. I'm looking at my coaching book here, at a little bit faster than your 10K pace. So if the goal is 7 minutes per mile, you're running in maybe 6:55. If the goal is 5 minutes per mile, you're running in about 4:55 with a 3-minute active recovery. So slightly faster than you ran the 2-mile effort. Okay, that's 4 weeks out. 3 weeks out, 2 miles at the goal 10K pace again on Tuesday, minus 3 to 5 seconds. So instead of 14 minutes, now it's about 13:55. Instead of 10 minutes, it's about 9:55. The same 8 to 10 minute active recovery, okay? And then 2 times a mile at sub 10K pace as well. So whatever you ran last week, you run about 3 to 4 seconds faster per mile on this end. So if you're running 4:55s, after the initial workout, these would be maybe 4:52, 4:53, or 6:52, 6:53 with a 3-minute active recovery. Okay, You're only doing 2 of them, and then one 800-meter effort hard on the back end, as hard as you can run. Okay, afterward. 2 weeks out, the week before championship, so your goal race. Tuesday, 2 miles again at your goal 10K pace. Now you do minus 6 to 8 seconds, or potentially even 8 to 10 seconds. Okay, so instead of that 14 minutes, now you might be at 13:50 to 13:53, 13:54, and instead of 10 minutes, and you're now 9:50, 9:53ish, something like that. Same active recovery. Okay, 8 to 10 minutes, and then you run a 1 mile effort. Okay, as hard as you can, or at about 5K pace if you can get to 5K pace. All right. Then you take a 3-minute recovery, and then you do 3 times a 400 at 3K down to about mile pace. Okay. How do you know these different paces? Look at 2 videos down below. One of them is a 1 mile time trial, and I encourage you, and I'm going to go over it in a little bit more detail shortly. And another video is how to set the appropriate training paces based on what you run for a time trial, because it'll give you an idea of what you can run for longer races and shorter races. And speaking of that, championship week, okay, goal race week, that Tuesday, you run a 1 mile time trial. Now, I've also mentioned in other videos that it's a good idea to run a 1 mile time trial after a base period of training, just mileage, because it'll give you a good idea of your current fitness after you've run about 6 to 8 or 10 weeks. Okay, it's a more accurate number, a more accurate barometer of your fitness with that much running behind your belt. But now you can see how you've progressed from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. Okay, and it'll give you an idea of how close you are to potentially this 10K, 5K, whether you're even fitter than you thought you were, and so on. So that's why it's a good thing to do. All right, and then you take an 8-minute active recovery, and then 5 by 200-meter efforts. Okay, so let's say you ran the 6:30. Okay, I say 6:20. Which puts you at about 3:10 for 800, 95 seconds. So you had about 48 seconds for 200 efforts. So you do 5 200s afterward at the pace you just ran that 6:20 miles, so 48 seconds each with a 200-meter jog recovery. Just a little bit more gradual turnover work, but not too much. Okay, and let's say on the flip side you ran 4:20, which is 65 seconds, 2:10 for the 800. So you're going to run 5 by 200s in about 32 seconds. Okay. Nothing crazy, just a little bit more turnover work, the same 200-meter recovery. All right, and then you're ready to go for race. That's my 4-week cycle. Notice some consistencies. The same long effort in the beginning. Okay, the 2 mile, the 2 mile, the 2 mile for 3 weeks straight, and then you test yourself race week. Okay, get you used to locking into the pace, and notice how the workout gets progressively faster. If you're training this way, you're training where workouts get progressively faster, your races should be of a similar cloth. Last thing you want to do is go out too fast or run somebody else's race and deviate from the way that you've been training all along to potentially fall apart. Now, I get in some cases races go out fast. It's adrenaline, and you're like, I can run with this guy, I can run with this girl. I get it, but if you haven't trained that way, you might not be ready for it. The last thing you want to do is blow up, particularly in a longer race like a 10K or a half or a marathon. I've seen it happen plenty of times. That's a very common mistake. I'm also going to put a video in the description below about common mistakes that runners make that might not be so obvious. And I highly encourage you to take a look at that one too. So that's my 4-week cycle. It is a consistent pattern of workout in the beginning and how it progresses along the way. And this way, with the last 4 weeks as well, let's say you're going from 70 miles a week to 50 miles a week, something like that. Instead of going like 70, 63, 57, 50, what I encourage folks to do and what I have my athletes do is keep it at 70 for that first week, and then the next 3 weeks you drop it down to 50. Drop it down to the goal mileage. Let the athletes' legs freshen up and let them adapt to that lower volume and give them 3 weeks to do it. Okay, by dropping volume every week, you can throw the legs off rhythm. It is. I'm not saying it'll happen all the time, but I've seen it happen, and it can happen. The last thing you want to do is that. You want to be at your best when it counts the most in your goal race. So that's my video. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed it, please click the thumbs up. If you have thoughts of your own or how you taper your athletes or how you'd like to taper, put them in the comments down below. I mean, I learn from you folks as much as you learn from me. My goal is to make this one of the best running channels out there. And I want to continue to grow it. I want to help as many people in the running community as possible. So if you know somebody who you think might benefit from this, please share it with them. Your athletes, other coaches, friends, anybody who wants to learn more about training from everything from a middle distance all the way up to the marathon. you'll find something here that you like. So I hope this was helpful. Thanks so much for your time. Thanks so much for my regular supporters. Be safe, train hard, be smart, and I'll talk to you soon.